today I'll be modifying a front bumper just to kind of get some more airflow to the radiator and just kind of some starting things of heat management to help me on the road track. March 20th, Sandia Speedway's got a just kind of a practice session, and I'd like the car to be able to make it, and I'm trying to just be as prepared as possible for this. So the old bumper that I had is not going anywhere. I still like it. It's my normal daily cruiser bumper, but we're gonna have a road race bumper. So if you remember, I had an older GT500 intercooler, or GT600 or whatever it was much bigger. So here's the new one in it, in that old bumper setup that I had. So the sides were cut out for the intercooler piping, and here's just a little intercooler. It's much more recessed. We've got a pretty big gap here. That being said, this can kind of come up and act as a, guard off to clean that. But there's a gap from here to here. So the idea is to essentially kind of make some kind of block off. Because this is so open, it should allow more airflow to the intercooler and also some avenues to the radiator just to kind of help cooling. So I bought a bunch of ABS plastic. I got a sheet there. Got a bunch of old sheets that I've just had of different thicknesses to try to help build some ducting, along with some 63 thou just aluminum that I've got. And then where the old intercooler piping was, trying to figure out what else I can do with those giant holes. I might just block them, and then I bought these in case they'll work. These are just some kind of random universal brake ducts, but they look like they might actually fit pretty dang well. Now granted, mine's already cut out, but maybe put an ABS plastic piece back here, insert that into that. Now I've got a brake duct as well. And then I got told the track's pretty rough with rocks, and you're falling behind people, it is what it is. So I bought some of this black mesh I'm kind of just trying to flatten out, and that'll kind of block the whole front just for protection's sake. So definitely a different look. It may not be everybody's look, but at this current moment, I'm looking for some function that I can actually have on the track. So let's go just kind of mocking some stuff up, and we're just gonna see where things go. All right, so things have taken a turn for the worse. We'll get to that in a second. So just using some cardboard. I've got something that kind of fits up in here. I've got a little piece that's gonna kind of go back. It's kind of holding in there, but the idea is there. Cardboard piece will go that way again, and then I'll just put a piece that goes right across that. Kind of the same thing. The cardboard's wanting to bend a bit, but pieces are made. This will kind of come up and go like that, and this will come across and block that way, and then I'll put another piece in here for the ducts and stuff. So here's where it got bad. Bumper was off the car, but if I can get this out, you can look up in there. I was trying to trim a little bit of stuff there so I can kind of, block the entire radiator off. And then if you look right there, yep, that was the grinder just kind of slipping on my hand and hitting the radiator. So super sucks. I'm gonna see if I can get a radiator, but I'm gonna keep pressing forward with this for the moment and pull the radiator out later. All right, so here's some ABS plastic. I kind of notched the edges here a little bit, and I'm just gonna essentially push the lip up here and just match this to the front here. I'm gonna put some plastic weld on it, or some JB just plastic adhesive. And I'm probably gonna shoot a couple of rivets through here just to kind of help secure it in there. That way when I pull the bumper on and off, it can just stay over there, and it'll help just kind of guide as this goes underneath the intercooler. All right, so it's up here, it's mounted. I got some clear weld quick settings. This sets in like 5 minutes. Then I've got some rivets. I think I'm just gonna place 4 rivets, just kind of here, 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 and here, essentially just kind of spaced out. But first I kind of want to get it set with some of the epoxy here, and then I'll push this in, hold it, that way it kind of has its home, and then I will put some holes through it. So, all right, so the glue got a little out of hand there, so I just threw some rivets. They're not equally spaced, which it is for what it is right now. This next piece here though, I'm just gonna cut out. Kind of gonna look something like that. So essentially all I'm gonna do is just transfer this over to some ABS plastic. All right, so I know this is the size it's gonna fit. So I'm just gonna kind of lay this on here. And again, I might need some small trimming here. This will just get me the rough idea because the cardboard did fit. All right, so here I've got another side cut out roughly, but I need to bend this bottom here. So with the plastic, if you just grab a heat gun, just kind of get it nice and hot, you can pretty much bend it by hand. Do wear gloves because it, you know, obviously the plastic gets hot. You start to see it just kind of bending, warping a little bit. If you think it's hard enough, just going to kind of bend it. The radius is going to be whatever you're bending it on, obviously. So in my case, it's this table. All right. Is it perfect by any means? No. Will it work for what we're doing? I believe so. And again, I'm going to kind of, when I'm done with all this, I'm just going to sort of seal everything up with like a sealant. But nonetheless, I've got a little bit of a bent edge there. All right, let's build the car. All right, so I've got like the two pieces. Again, however you make them, you make them. But here's like my two pieces. I already pre-drilled some rivet holes in them. I'm going to use this, again, the clear weld epoxy sealing here. I'm probably going to end up taking some sealant all over all the joints after the fact, but this is just to kind of help hold it. Not using a ton. Again, I don't know, this is kind of my first time doing this, but I'm just gonna gently put it all over where the holes are, because I know that's where the bracket's going to sit. All right, so now it's up there. I'm just going to kind of get it into its place. All right, so I'm kind of making sure that this is pressed up against here. I'm probably going to seal stuff behind here, but again, just trying to make stuff as tight as possible. So now that it's there, I should be able to kind of pull the bumper off, pull this out. All right, so we're also venting the hood. So the bumper, I'm pretty sure I didn't record all of it, but whatever I did record, it's in this video. With that being said, I'm adding Aerocatch latches and then giant vents to the hood, all in prevention of just, you know, overheating the car and just heat management in general. So the bumper, this is what it looks like together. Just some more self-tapping screws in here to hold that down, and then some bolts and nuts here. So the Aerocatches we already kind of have mounted. This is where they're gonna go. We already drilled holes for it. And debating on where we were gonna put it, we kind of just made these plates. They're gonna be cleaned up now and painted, but this is where they're at. We were talking about putting it right into the actual headlight housing, but if you grab this, you can see the whole headlight housing move. So this is definitely just stronger than it needs to be. But this is 1/8 inch thick. I will put them in the description below, but these are the hood vents. They're kind of just drying, but so there's gonna be 2 over the fender well area and then 1 giant one in the center. So essentially now, I know I kind of skipped some stuff, but the race is next weekend, and when I start getting into things, I just kind of start moving ahead. So from here on out, we're just gonna take that off, clean them up, paint it, and just get everything installed here. All right, so small update. The aero latches are in, and we got some tape on here, just essentially an outline of how the actual vents are gonna go on here. So I opted not to put this hood on here because this hood actually fits the car quite well. And When I go to repaint the car, because the issues that I have with the paint, I'm gonna use that as my clean hood with my other clean bumper. So this hood already, you can't tell, but there was like a little dimple up here that, yes, it's gonna be cut out, but the hood is a little tweaked over here ever so slightly. Again, it's just because it's, you know, I don't know, 30-year-old hood, and that one's brand new. Even though it's aftermarket, it fits real well. So that'll be the, you know, good permanent hood. So I'm just gonna kind of start cutting here. I got some holes here, which is where it's gonna rivet itself into. Some guideline, and I'm just gonna take the cut off disc, cut up in here until everything just sort of fits. All right, so the hood vents and everything are all cut out. I got some touch-up paint. Again, this isn't gonna be perfect, but for the application that it is. All right, so next update. Center area is on. Using some black rivets here. Alexa's chatting. So here's these 3/16 black rivets. So basically mounted that on there, drilled some holes, put it in. So here you can see the second one here. I'm just gonna line it up roughly where it goes, drill some holes, shoot some rivets. What I can say is this is the one time I wish I had a pneumatic or battery powered rivet gun, because my hand is gonna kill me by the end of this. All right, so here it is, everything's installed. There's a couple of spots maybe where there's a slight fingerprint or so on here for me just pressing down on it. Maybe I can just retouch up, or we're gonna see how bad it gets beat up with the track anywho's. But it's like 45 degrees outside, so not the best time for the paint to be curing, but I think it looks pretty neat with the hood latch kind of in line with that. There and there. Let's just kind of see what it's gonna look like in the car. Again, I love the black and tan going, so let's put it on and see what how it looks, and let's hope these guys line up as much as we measured and everything, because we actually didn't test fit this again after we put these in.
Cushion for my hands, so it just makes sense, and I have them, they're just a little big.
Gotcha. I'm gonna loosen these a little bit. I'm moving them forward right now. All right, so the hood is on, the plates are on, and they look like this. Kind of just painted up. Now the holes in here are a little bit slotted, so you can kind of move this plate forward and back just a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit, because this hood is going to be coming off again. It's not going to be my permanent hood, but it's kind of what it looks like on both sides. And one thing I think it is missing is I asked Greg if he had any stickers. I think this is like my race bumper, as I'm going to call it. Whoops, upside down. Something like that's going to go right in the middle. It is white. I was debating on black or white. Again, I can always change it up, but I'm going to stick with white right now because it'll kind of go with the white tire letters a little bit. Just so, another thing just to kind of contrast the bumper and make it say that this is, I don't know, my race bumper per se. So let's kind of put that on. All right, so honestly, I think it looks cool as hell. Maybe in black. Just kind of go with the rest of the black of the car. I'm not sure. Let's just kind of see what it looks like with the hood closed. Because again, the Honda emblem is black on my car, so. So the factory hood latch is still there. All right, there it is. I don't know, maybe I'm feeling black, maybe white, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. All right, I'm probably getting a bit crazy here, but again, I'm referring to this as my race bumper or setup. The bumper you can see just from shipping and moving from, you know, different states. That thing has got a little beat up there, a little beat up there. It is by all means not perfect. That being said, I know it's gonna get beat up with rock chips and everything else from the track. So I'm gonna add another sticker to this thing. Probably a little overkill, but the Corbo is white in the car, the Corbo like lettering. The tire stickers that I put on the tires are white. My little name, my Instagram tag on the mirror or on the window is white. So I think I'm gonna like white. We'll see what it looks like here. All right, so now the exposure's a little blown out. Just kind of pulled over to take a picture. The coolant temp's at 185 and the intake's at 107. I've been idling, I'm turning off the fan. Normally the car idles at about 188. with the fan on. So it's already a little cooler. And that's kind of regardless of the temperature outside so far in my experience. So the fan is now off. Let's just kind of do a little slight drive here and just see if I can keep the fan off. And I'm not getting on the highway here. Highway speeds. This is again 40 miles an hour, coolant temp sitting at 185. So this is the fan off. I think this is a win in the books right now. We're definitely going to find out next Saturday at the road track event. So up 95 degrees, intake temps going down, 93. And again, if I was actually driving and getting on it, forcing air into the intercooler a bit faster, 93. I'd say it's a huge win. Again, the radiator fan's off. I'm super stoked about this. I can't wait to drive this to work now and just kind of see highway speeds and see how it goes. All right, so first and foremost, I do apologize for not showing more of the bumper, where the bumper ducts and stuff are. I will cover that in another video, because once this event is over, I'm gonna take the bumper off, and with some help from my new friend Matt, who you saw in the video maybe a little earlier, we're gonna fiberglass some stuff on there, just make it look a little cleaner. And what I did was just not the greatest, but it'll work for this event for the time being. So overall, I put the splitter back on the car because I think it kind of ties better into this front end. And I need to work on either getting some PCI or some YCP side skirts, or maybe just build my own. I think it'll really just tie the whole overall picture of the car in for this style and for the racing in general, aesthetic wise. That being said, here's what it looks like as of right now. Splitter's back on, the rods, they are purely aesthetic. If you watch my splitter video, this is actually bolted to a steel bracket that is actually bolted to the chassis. I'm really digging where I put the Go Auto Work stickers on the side and up in the front there. Really think it came along. I think the side skirts will really just kind of help the side of the car, just then visually, and I might actually like them enough, I think, I can just leave them on and it'll go, you know, my other front end that I've got. So, status of this. I put a little clip in me just driving around the street, which was great. I drove it now to work, which is about 22 miles, maybe 18 miles, it's all highway. So, let me get this out of the way. I think I've said this already, but the car does not overheat. With the other normal stock hood and the other bumper on there, it does not overheat. That being said, I've only done autocross with it, and I've only driven the streets. If I did get on the highway, I think max temp I ever got to was like 192, but I've only driven about 12, maybe 15 miles with it that way, and then I would back on the normal street. That is all with the radiator fan on. The big spout fan that I got on there, when it hits like 180 degrees in my dash, I just turn the fan on and let it rip, and it stays at 188 degrees. If I were to turn the fan off, even on the highway cruising at like 70 miles an hour, the temp will rise. How high, I am not sure. I don't let it rise. Max I've let it rise to is 195 degrees, which I know some people are gonna be like, oh, that's not overheating, you're still fine. Here's the deal, I don't want it to go above that in general, so I would just leave the fan on, and I have a nice 188 to max 192 temp, and I was comfortable with the car there. A normal car, obviously, when you were cruising, let's just say 50 miles an hour and up, you can leave the radiator fan off and enough flow hits the radiator and in return it cools. So if you look at my other bumper setup, there is literally nothing, you know, nothing allowing air to go directly to the radiator. The intercooler is blocking it entirely, and I do like the look of it. I think it looks, you know, like it belongs. I already have ducting, maybe I think I showed in older videos, that are on the sides of the radiator going to the front of the intercooler. So anything that does pass the intercooler in theory does go to the radiator, but it's still not exposed. And again, temps were fine on the autocross track. Those were max like 45, 50 seconds a lap, and you were kind of done. This track is 1.7 miles that I'm going to. So I got told like 1 minute and 30, you're kind of moving. So I'm expecting like 1 minute and 45 to 2 minute laps. But I'd like to be able to do, realistically my goal is 4 hot laps. The time attacks that will happen this year are 1 warm up, 3 hot timed, and 1 cool down. But if I can do 4 hot laps, then I should be able to do a time attack without issue. So, with all that being said, when I drove on the highway this time, I can literally drive 22 miles is what I drove. I could have maybe went further. The temp did not go above 188 degrees with the fan off, which was, I'm super stoked. That's a phenomenal
greatness, you know, just a great achievement, I'm saying, for the car. Now, I don't know if it's bumper, hood, or if it's just a combination of both, but what I can say is now there is literally about an inch of exposed radiator, you know, direct flow coming into it. And then I built that ducting, so really the whole front end is boxed in, so everything's gonna smash the intercooler right into the radiator, and we're good. Intake temps were definitely down. It is cold here right now at the moment. Today was a good low to mid 60s day. But again, the temp didn't really matter. Normally, it always stay at 188 still. So I have a good feeling, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, when I get to the track, I'm just gonna turn the fan on like normal at 180 degrees, and a mixture of just the fan pumping and just the added, you know, airflow and exit, whatever the case, that the car can just stay cool. I'm obviously working against odds here. I understand that with a half-size EG radiator. This is not the size of the Skunk 2 EF specific. This is a standard EG radiator from Greg at Go Auto Works that I'm running. I know most people are gonna say just run a full size. Here's the deal, I can run a full size Scirocco radiator or something, which would greatly help, I guarantee it. That being said, I gotta redo my intercooler piping again. The wastegate is kind of touching, it's not, let me phrase that, it's not touching the intercooler now, but it's close to it. So if I was to run a Scirocco radiator, I'd have to push my intercooler more out of the car again. I already kind of just recessed it on purpose to fit my other bumper style and, again, aesthetics. That being said, I want the car to be able to transition back to, you know, my other hood bumper with fog lights, more of the cleaner look. And then when these events come up like this, I can swap hood, swap bumper, call it a day, and go, you know, have a good time. It is what it is. I only have one CRX. I don't have a dedicated race car, even though it may look that aspect in certain ways. So I'm trying to make the car, you know, a jack of all trades. So all in all, I think what I did, well, I know stat-wise, data-wise, it did great. It's performing fantastic there. I'm really gonna find out in this upcoming weekend when we have this practice session. It's not a time attack, it will be a practice session, so I can kind of come and go on the track as I please. So if I want to do 2 laps and park, eat a burger, you know, whatever the case, and just go back and forth. So it's gonna be a lot of testing. There's definitely gonna be a video. I will have multiple GoPros posted with the ECU output for sensors and stuff on the screen. I've got a layout that I've already tested and kind of messed with. I know this is long-winded on the outro. I'm just trying to let as much things be out there because I've had a lot of questions on why I did this and what I'm doing. That being said, I have another video that I'll put out after this, hopefully before the event. I've done a couple other things with the car just to meet certain track, what do you want to say it? Like just track rules. I guess I know those are words. The tech inspection. I've done some things that I needed to do to meet the tech inspection. So first and foremost, thank you, Matt, for coming over and assisting me. Thank you for my wonderful wife helping put the hood on and off that she's not comfortable doing because we've already cracked a windshield, not now, but in the past. She's super nervous of that. And again, this is long enough. So everyone that has, you know, subscribed, commented, I promise there's some more hopefully exciting things coming. And if you do watch this, please cross your fingers. I'm hoping the car survives and it does well, but there will be a video detailing its entire process at that track. So again, any questions, comments, concerns, put it in the comments below. Overall, did this work? So far right now on the street, it is absolutely data proven that it is doing something better than it was before. So again, I appreciate everybody. Stay tuned for the next video.